You're welcome back to News Insights. And I have the People's Cabal here to discuss about another cabal.
Which of them?
Known or
this one?
unknown. Two of
us. Oh, okay.
Easy. No cabal.
My cabality is to cabal him.
It's unfortunate.
So, guys, we thought when Buhari left, issues of cabal would have just gone because it was very challenging during Buhari time. You know, we started hearing of cabal in governance in Nigeria strongly from Yar'Adua time because of his health that was challenged and how the Senate, you know, quickly responded to issue of having acting president, the first in our history and probably the last, because eventually they made it known that once the president can't function anymore, automatically the vice president becomes the president. There's nothing like acting president, okay? But we thought issues of cabal would have just gone behind us. But we are hearing of cabal again from the person of former minister. This is not a gossip, okay? From Solomon Dalong, former minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria, saying that the cabal in the current government is even worse off than the one we had before. That is not something Nigerians should joke with. Because we didn't vote for cabal. How do we know when we are moving forward who to hold responsible? What is your make out of this?
Okay, so we started hearing about cabal from the time of Yar'Adua.
Yes.
When Obasanjo was there was no cabal.
Yeah, there was nothing like that.
Obasanjo was healthy, ill, and was handsome. So health issues brought cabal.
Yeah.
Yar'Adua. Then we had Jonathan, that people said he was a little bit docile and was.
But no cabal was penciled.
No, but there was a few other
kitchen cabinet. There were kitchen cabinets in Obasanjo time.
Exactly. Then we had Buhari. Then now we have this one mentioning cabal, and you can see that they are a little bit slow because of their health. They can't move about the way they ought to have moved, because if they were healthy and strong, they will be hands-on. They will invite everybody, meet at any time, not confined to a place. For example, now let's be realistic.
Yeah.
If the president wants to move, he has to first of all have a health clearance before he moves. We have seen it. 1 year, 9 months gone or thereabout. How much has he moved?
18 months
Locally. You understand? He is almost at the Aso Rock all the time. The only first time we saw him move now is when he went to Enugu State. So apart from that, we have to have a cabal. For example, we have a chief of staff, Bajabia Miller. We have the wife, is a factor. Then we have other interests as well. For example, we talked about Erifai. Why was Erifai not cleared? Who nominated Erifai? Was he not the president? So how come he was not cleared? Because there were other interests that felt that Erifai could be a harm. So there will always be cabal as long as the president's health is in question.
So Philip, can you see if Nigerians could be shortchanged, if truly like the way Solomon alleged that there are cabals rather than the people we elected or even appointed, if cabals exist, wouldn't it shortchange Nigeria?
Very well. You see, that's what we're seeing today. That's what is reflected, like he rightly pointed out. You know, there are interests. He mentioned two key persons, the First Lady and the Chief of Staff. And if you look at the long analysis, he said this cabal is worse than that of Buhari because they are highly intelligent and they are using their intelligence to isolate the president. And like he said, this is only possible because the president is already isolated by reason of ill-health. The man, it is not who he used to be 20 years ago when he was aspiring to lead this country. It's a problem. Like his analysis are very okay because when Obasanjo was there as a president, it's everywhere. You know, Jonathan was everywhere. Forget it. Even during Obasanjo, you have kitchen cabinet. Yes, there are people you rely on their government.
Of course, yeah.
But if you are here ahead, because somebody who is sick bodily is also sick mindly.
Yeah.
So when you were supposed to think and your body is not fit for you to think, you can't think. So you rely on other people's judgment. So you see that is why when he said the president will invite everybody and have meeting with them, but in this case, you see that the chief of staff is having meeting with the people, taking decision, or unofficially people are having meeting with the wife, taking decision, and other interests.
And now, but we appear to be at the mercy because how will Nigerians know the decision that are from The president.
That's the problem.
Or the ones from the.
That's the problem.
Cabal. How do we?
That is where your question is very germane. Will Nigeria be shortchanged? Why did it be shortchanged? Because we don't even know who is taking decision. Whose decision is from the president.
Can you remember? Let's just flash back. Don't know what we are discussing, but it's also in line with this Cabalic thing. Do you remember that somebody is still being accused of forging President Buhari's signature for Naira reprinting or for the new Naira note or whatever for the authority? Till today.
And that issue is not clear.
It's not clear. Even the issue of forging president's signature because of the Cabal issue started from the days of Yar'Adua.
Yes.
Remember that budget?
Yes.
We cannot say who even signed that budget. So it's a big problem. It's a big problem to the Nigerian people.
Look
because the Nigerian people elected the president, they don't know who is taking
responsible.
Exactly. You understand? The man don't know what is happening around him.
It's a holistic.
But you see the frustration. Let me read from what Dalon said. Okay. This is the frustration. They are educated and have a sound knowledge of what power is. Okay? But that's not where I'm going. Their capacity to manipulate power, stifle information, and control access to the president president makes them more dangerous. So will Nigerians be seated back and enjoy what has become more dangerous than what we are
coming from?
Where we are coming from.
So let me take a little swipe, just a little. Dalong is not someone I take very seriously. I'm being frank, personally.
Yeah.
He's not. He always cries.
So we should discard this, right?
Not really.
Okay.
Not totally. Not really.
Okay.
But he's not someone that I take on the note because his mouth and his actions are not always at the same. Yes, they are very, very different. So Dalong is not someone that. Don't forget, he was Minister of Sports under Buhari's regime. Under APC. Do you understand? He has swayed from left to right to center to everybody.
This is his own party.
So Dalong is not someone I take seriously. But as Nigerians, we have rights to also discuss what we can see and feel.
But hold on. But isn't it proper to even a kind of authority invite Dalong to actually explain how he come to this conclusion that what we have now is more dangerous?
Which authority?
Look, Dalong is not a factor. El-Rufai went to SDP, is a factor. Obi gave analysis of this, it was a factor. So they don't recognize Dalong. They just ignore him. We haven't said that. What we are talking about is the Nigerians that benefits everybody.
That's right.
That's why we are even taking his statement and discussing. That's why we are here. So it's not just majorly about Dalong accusation. Are you listening to me? So now what we need to do is to also analyze in our own way and things we know. Things we know about the president that is not as mobile. We saw him as governor of Lagos State. Come on. He was mobile. He moved Lagos State from what he used to be to what it is now. The bedrock of which Lagos State stands today is as a result of Asiwaju. I'm not his fan. I don't know if you understand me. And there are reasons I'm not his fan.
You're in Nigeria and you have right
exactly.
To be his fan,
He moved Lagos from what Lagos used to be.
Before they do to you what they did to me the other day.
No. The truth remains that whether Dalong is somebody to be taken serious or not. What I will say here is that forget the messenger, take the message serious.
Yeah, that's why we are discussing.
The message Dalong has put before Nigeria is a very serious message.
It's very serious.
And what do we do to correct the situation? It's left for Nigerians.
Yes.
Okay? Now, we all know, like he said, we all know from what we can see and feel that the president is not what a president should be. It is not the Bola Tinubu we know in 1999 when he assumed office as the governor of Lagos State.
So let me throw this egg for you whether you catch it or not. If Nigerians must react, because to arrive at Nigeria that works for everybody is not just by holy statements. It's not by a mantra.
No.
It's not a motto.
No.
It's not a slogan.
Yes.
In our next election, he has pointed the issue of being strong, health-wise.
Yes.
You know, there's not much you can do. I tell people that election has consequences.
Yeah.
Once you have elected somebody, there's not too much.
Took
you
the
can
word
do.
out of my
It's
mouth.
to manage it.
election.
Yeah. That's the only solution. The
So
only
is
solution
it a factor?
It's a factor. It's a factor. That's why, you know, what we discussed before, that's why the APC are jittering. That's why the camp of the presidency are jittering when the person of El-Rufai, like he said, they know who he is, what he did for them to get into office. Is now going to visit another party national chairman, even though he had not made any statement.
Even as a friendly
note. They are jittery because Nigeria need to do more.
Because two of them have been friends.
Nigeria need to do more of what El-Rufai had done. There must be alignment and realignment. There must be preparation for Nigeria to stop this government that always come with cabal. The next president should be president that would be up and doing, not president that some people will be taking decisions for him to the detriment of Nigerians.
Okay, so can I weigh in on this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we must look at the levels of alignment in this government and factors that be. Number one, there's Sheyi Tinubu. Number two, there is Bajabia Miller. Number three, there is Oluremi Tinubu. Number four, there is the Faleke factor. That within even that cabal, there is alignment and realignment. Do you understand? Now, if they want to move forward, they must team up their house and also show to Nigerians that they can do better than what they are doing right now.
Well,
because they are not doing...
Let me come. You see, we don't want to have a presidency that has cabal in any form. Whether they will team up or not, we want a president that is the president of Nigeria and is the president of Nigeria that is responsible to Nigeria, and Nigeria can hold the president responsible.
But what we have now, we are discussing...
Is encouraging cabal.
No, I'm not encouraging cabal, but
Okay.
for what we have now,
Yes.
we can't do away with what we have now.
But
Even before we get to 2027, right?
Yes.
Even before we get to 2027, we still have like 2.5 years to operate.
Yes.
So what are we going to be doing with the 2.5 years?
I put it this way. I've always told people that when it comes to re-election, the president's campaign is going to be not what I'm going to do.
Yes.
It's what I
have done. Exactly.
So eventually,
Yes.
while you're saying that if by 2027,
Yes.
Nigeria, things will have really moved forward. You know, I talked about surgery earlier.
Yes.
You know, I think that was in our last section.
Yes.
That we did surgery. We are recovering from the surgery.
Surgery, yes.
If we recover for the
Fully
surgery
and good.
the payment is no more
there. What do you
By
think about change?
2027,
You should give it back to him.
So
the cabal that we are talking to, if there is any cabal, is that they should put the house together and make Nigeria a better country. But we also don't want a country that we go to 2027 and we have a puppet on the throne. We don't want that.
So
Nigeria wants better.
A takeaway from you, Philip, so that we just get it.
Well, my takeaway from me is that the president should do more to deliver the dividends of democracy
By himself.
The promise he made to Nigeria, it is the president that make promises to Nigeria and not his
But
aides.
the other day, let me push you a little in this our 2 minutes left. He went to Enugu the other day.
Yeah.
Do you think it was by cabal?
I don't want to think so because in the first place, I don't believe there's
So
cabal.
such move on
You should do more. Like he said, how many places has the president visited locally? Because it's on record that he has traveled over 118 times or 18 times out of this country. And there's speculation that is for medical, whatever.
Personally, no, he has traveled 29 times
Yes.
on 124 days
Yes.
onto 16 countries.
Yes.
You know, that day I was telling that the president who has visited 16 countries out of 29 trips, you can't clearly say it's all for medical purpose.
Yes.
Did he have hospital in 16 countries?
No, what I'm saying-
The 16 countries, what was the
Wait.
aim of him traveling?
Exactly. So that he visited 16 countries. In most cases, some of this country he will combine three together. One of them where he will take
Pass through one,
so that's not the issue. If you have visited 16 countries, how many states have you visited in Nigeria?
Okay, now, so the takeaway here is that we want a president
That is hands-on.
We want a president that does things by himself.
That is
Exactly.
hands-on.
A president that is hands-on.
Yes.
A president that is energetic.
Yes.
A president that can do better.
Exactly.
So I think this discussion will continue from here, probably when we'll come back. So this is still News Insight. We'll be right back.